Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you. Always is. Hope you're doing well. Day 4 over in the finals. We've got another 2 matches for us to touch on today. Shouldn't take that much of our time at all. Get your comments in with your predictions. Anything that I'm going for today will be in the pinned comment. You're more than welcome to take a look at that. You can take it if you want. You leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. The choice will always be yours. But like the video, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not already, we continue to grow each and every day. It'll be an honour to welcome you to the team, so get yourself involved. And we'll do a quick recap of yesterday. Get yourself involved, share with the group, don't be shy. Let us all know, how did we get on? Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? Most importantly, did we enjoy the matches? I'll go first. I had Taylor Fritz plus the 4 against Alcaraz. I needed one more game for the win. It finished dead on the 4. What are you going to do? Dead on the 4. No damage done. I can certainly live with that. Well, that's just me. Like I say, share with the group. Do not be shy. Let us all know how you get on. And we'll waste no more time with it, folks. We'll get right into business today. Let's get it on. First one is Ben Shelton. Felix Auger Aliassime. Head-to-head is 1-0 to the Canadian. That was back in the French Open last year. Quite an arse whipping as well, I must say. 6-4, 6-2, 6-1. Happy days. I imagine that'll give you a bit of confidence coming into this, but I would have to assume that this time round, over on the hard court, things may just be slightly different. Straight away, we're getting Ben Shelton as a decent favourite in this, call at 1.6, although he didn't open up as that for me. 1.45 for me over here in sunny old England, and I was currently sitting at sub 1.7. Is there a reason for that? Maybe not. If you fancy a piece of Ben Shelton today, 1.7 or even 1.65, I imagine that's quite alright for you. Getting Felix around 2.25, 2.3 on the decimal. Just a slight dog coming into this one. Now, we all should know there is a couple of doubts, a couple of question marks surrounding the fitness of the Canadian coming into this. What are we saying? Calf injury? At the very least, calf issues, potential calf issues for Felix. That much that I do believe Alexander Bublik. Is it Bublik? There'll be one of them. I think it's Alexander Bublik, pretty much on standby, waiting in the wings, just in case Felix is to pull out of this one. So there's clearly a bit of doubt. How bad is it? You know, if it's that bad, he's not going to play. I hope he does. Will this match go ahead? Maybe, maybe not. I hope that it does. If it does go ahead, will we get a complete match? I honestly couldn't tell you. We've just got to see on the day. But a calf injury, you know, we've seen it with was it Holger Rune? Holger Rune, did he get a calf injury? We haven't seen him since, and we don't know when we're going to see him next. It's not exactly something you want to risk, is it? I know it's important. Now you're in the finals. It's very important to finish up strong. Now you've made it here, but it's equally as important to remain fit and fresh and healthy going into next season. You know, let's just say he turns up and he feels like he's fine, and it's not, and it gets worse, and then it's a case of we'll see it in Monte Carlo, Felix. No, it's not good enough. Not good enough at all. Not with the season that this guy's had. Now, prior to all the injury concerns and what have you, let's just say he's good to go. Let's just say he turns up and he's good to go. So I imagine if he can't play, he probably won't play. And if he thinks that he can, and then he finds out he can't, he'll probably just pull out of this one. Like I say, he's not going to sit there and nail himself to a cross with such an injury. So I say it lightly, but maybe Felix is just a little bit of a free hit today. I don't know. If it's as bad as what people are suggesting, then maybe it's just a bit of a free hit. You may just get your cash back at the end of the day. But like I was saying, prior to all this, prior to the doubt and what have you, if these would have played each other on the hard court, since we've come back to the hard court, maybe not in Toronto because Shelley was on fire and Felix didn't make it past the first round. I think was that tournament. Don't quote me on it. But pretty much any other time. Let's say post US Open. Let's go with post US Open. That's probably the safest bet. I'd have taken Felix to beat this guy every time. Maybe even prior to the US Open. I don't know. I think Felix, since we've come back to the hard court, since he got that loss out the way to it was Fabian Madison over in Toronto. First round exit, well, it was the second round, first match. He's been the guy to beat. He has been the guy to beat. Quarterfinals in Cincinnati, Jannik Sinner beat him. Semi-final in the US Open, Jannik Sinner beat him. Yeah, I'm going with prior to the US Open. Shanghai Masters quarterfinals, Rinderknech beat him. No shame in that. Took the title in Brussels. Had to pull out against Jami Munar in the Swiss indoors quarterfinals. got to the final again in the Paris Masters, got beaten by, obviously, Jannik Sinner, and then he's just been beat by Jannik Sinner again, and here we stand. It appears to me that when Felix is playing the way he's playing, or has been playing the past few months, there's only one or two people that can beat him, or you have to be playing the best in the tournament to beat this guy. And like I say, it's the doubt, it's the injury concern. I'd love to be super confident on this, but prior to all the bollocks that's going on, I'd have taken Felix. And I'd have seen him. We probably wouldn't have got him at a plus money dog. Maybe not. But even given all the stuff that's going on, there's still a lot of cash coming on Felix, and I'm not too sure why, or I'm not saying I'm not too sure why, but I'm not so confident whether I should go for it or not. I'll be honest with you, look, if he's good to go, there's not going to be a lot in it. There will not be a lot in this one, on paper anyway. On paper, I think Felix most definitely matches the serve of Ben Shelton all around, no doubt about it. On the return, the statistics would tell you this one's very close. Very, very close indeed. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Felix, first save, return percentage, second save, all that stuff, return games won. He's just ahead in all them metrics. The only metric that Shelton would have the advantage in when it comes to return game efficiency would be break points converted, which is a very important statistic as well. I'm not downplaying it whatsoever. But that's just on paper, and that is taking into account all the games this season. But I do believe, since we've come back to the hard court, Felix Auger-Aliassime as being much more lethal, much more efficient, just downright a better player than Ben Shelton, absolutely. And I say, ever since Ben Shelton's come back off his injury, there's been a lot. He's left a lot to be desired. Not a lot you can do against Sinner in the Paris Masters, and he done absolutely nothing against Zverev. Absolutely nothing. Now Felix done nothing against Sinner as well, so it's like both of them lost. They need to win. They need a win. One of them is going to win. Who is it going to be? Who wants it more? I'm not too sure. At that price, giving me plus money for Felix when there's a good possibility that it might not go ahead, or I might just get me money back anyway. I don't think I mind rolling the dice on that. As a matter of fact, on the exchange, I've got Felix Auger-Aliassime plus 2.5, 1.73, call it 1.75, plus 2.5 for Felix. Either one. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. But I think I'd be looking the way of the Canadian today, folks. Jannik Sinner, Alexander Zverev. Back once again. This will be the 10th time that we've seen this. That's right, head-to-head is 5-4 to the Italian. And not only that, he has won the last 4 games in a row. That's right, Zverev hasn't beaten this guy since 2023. It used to be very one-sided until it weren't. And then Jannik Sinner just doesn't look like he wants to get beat anymore by Alexander Zverev. And you know what? It's not through lack of trying. It's not. Every single one of these matches, every single one could go either way. It's always been that way. It just seems to be the way of the water in this matchup. Doesn't really matter how good Jannik Sinner's playing or how deadly he is. Zverev's always there. He always poses somewhat of a threat. Played him 3 times this year. Beat him in the the Australian Open. Started the season in straight sets, 6-3, tiebreak 6-3. That was in the final. Great match, great performance indeed. And then we fast forward to Vienna, indoor hard court, 3-6, 6-3, 7-5 in the final once again. Very, very close match. Fantastic performance from the German indeed. And then most recently, the other week in Paris. What do you want me to say about that? He got bageled, and then a 6-1 in the semi-finals. On paper, a disgraceful result, but we all know Zverev was a bit fucked up going into that one after the run he just had prior. So I'll let him off with it. I'll let him off with that one because that's never happened any time before. That has never, ever happened before, really. Like I say, they've always been good enough to take sets off one another. At the start, Zverev just used to bully him, and then Sinner's taken over come here 2024, 2025. No surprise in that. I don't think Zverev's injured anymore. I just don't think Zverev is injured anymore. He looks shit hot against Ben Shelton, but then again, Shelton didn't offer up any resistance whatsoever. You have to admit, Jannik Sinner is going to be much more of a task than the American. But we're getting Jannik Sinner at 1.12. And although the price is ridiculous, you have to admit it is somewhat of an improvement on 1.01, that's for sure. But at 1.12, there's not a lot you can do with that. I think that spread, they've currently got the spread, well, he did have the spread of 4.5, but it was plus money to Zverev. You can get 5.5 with Zverev, maybe even just 5. I'm not too sure. Play for the push if you can get it close enough to finish on the 5. I don't know, man. Like I say, I'm willing to disregard that previous result. I'm willing to disregard the previous result based on the injury and the fatigue of Zverev. He's turned up for this one. He looks much better. He looks much better this time round. Hey, who knows? Who knows? Sinner might just come up and slap the shit out of him. Would I be that surprised if he did? Probably not. But like I say, even since the tide has turned in this head-to-head, Zverev has always kind of been there. He always poses somewhat of a threat. That serve is crucial. He can turn up and serve the way he does. He can beat most, and at the bare minimum keep it close with the likes of the best. We've seen him do it. You don't need me to tell you. It's Zverev, you know what I mean? When it comes to the German, there's only really one or two that are better than this guy. Like, realistically, he's number 3 in the world. You know, if anyone's going to keep it close with the likes of Yannick Sinner, I'd have to assume it's going to be the likes of Zverev. That's what I mean. He's done it pretty much every time, win or lose, apart from the last time. 4.5 seems very strange to see next to Zverev's name. It always does. Even 5.5, you'll get much better odds for that than what you would Yannick Sinner on that money line. But I just don't think it's wise. I don't think it's wise to fuck about with this one. You really are playing with fire, trying to find an avenue to go against Yannick Sinner on this one. He hasn't lost a game on the indoor hard court in 2 years. Like I said, you're going back to, 2023? When he last lost the game. That was to Djokovic in the final. What are we doing? What are we doing? The question remains, as it always does, how close or how much damage do you believe Zverev can do in this one? He's already got a win. He beat Ben Shelton. Doesn't really have to win this one. Depending on what happens with Felix and Shelley in the first game, will make it a lot more interesting. But was your fancy Zverev against Felix? A slightly hampered Felix. We'll have to see how he gets on. It may not even be Felix. It could be Alexander Bublik or not, and that does change things ever so slightly, especially with him coming in fresh and fit and ready to go. But let's not assume. Let's not make assumptions. Let's not jump the gun. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I honestly couldn't talk it off taking Zverev on them points today. Maybe look towards an over. With odds like that on Sinner, I would have to assume the total would be rather low. I'm not expecting Zverev to beat him. Absolutely not. But from 8 of the 9 matches they've played, I'll be honest with you folks, I am expecting him to keep it at least competitive. At least competitive. He's not injured. He looks good to go in this one. How good, how much is it going to be enough? How much is enough when you're taking on Yannick Sinner? I'm not too sure, but all shall remain to be seen today. Very well then folks, that's going to do us once again. Another day in the bag. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you. You know that I do. Thanks for watching the show. Like and subscribe before you go. I'll be saying good night to you, or good morning, or whatever. But you take it easy. You take care of yourself. Take care of one another. It's the most important thing. Wish you the best of luck. However you decide to go about your business today. Have yourself a good one, folks, and I'll see you all tomorrow.